Hi guys, welcome. And who dat? I'm Joe, and I'm here to review, recap, and react to this past weekend's Week 10 matchup that saw our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints, travel to Minneapolis and U.S. Bank Stadium to take on the Minnesota Vikings. And we lost. Final score, Vikings 27, Saints 19. These review videos of mine come out on Tuesdays, and it's always a couple of days after the fact, and no one wants to remember this. Yeah, so that's why in my preview video, I did a history lesson of the Saints and Vikings from a fan's perspective, because I'm a fan, and I've been around long enough to see this go down. And I know this team, every season's different, and this team is totally different than last year's team, much less whatever we were doing in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Okay, but as a fan, I'm sick and tired of losing to this team, and of course, we lose again. Are they our kryptonite? Well, not in that NFC Championship game when we beat them in 2009 and went to the Super Bowl. But seems like every other damn game they are. So we couldn't figure it out. We still can't figure it out. Offense looked like garbage in the first half. Defense looked like garbage in the first half. That second quarter was a nightmare. I don't believe I've ever seen anything like that. 3 straight drives of touchdowns. And this team harping on how they have to be better in the first half for a month now and still can't do it. And I think Dennis Allen, he said it best in the post game, or one of those conferences after, where he said he doesn't know. He has no idea. I don't know what to tell you. Well, we know what to tell you. I don't know if the franchise understands who they are, but I think the fans know who the Saints are this year. I think we figured it out. We know what we have to do to be good, and we know that this coaching staff is not going to give it to us. It's all this damn second guessing. Oh, so we finally figure out a formula on how to win. It's the same damn formula that's found us winning games every now and then over the last 3 years. But we're too smart. We have to play some kind of 4D chess where, oh, they think we're going to run Taysom Hill. Well, we'll show them. I mean, what is that? You're running the ball at almost 5 yards a clip, but you just don't run the ball. Oh, they think we're going to run the ball. Well, let's go ahead and we've got Derek Carr. We're paying him $150 million. We might as well put it all on his back. In the first half, it seemed like the first down carry was 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. And then on second down, we would pass and get sacked or throw an incompletion. Or Carr would dump it off too fast and the back would catch it for -2. Or we'd have some stupid penalty, and all of a sudden it's third down in an obvious passing situation. Like, this team is allergic to just running the ball. You've got running backs coming out of your ears. Use them. Alvin Kamara had 15 touches in this game. That's stupid. He's running the ball at 4.7 yards a carry. So we're only going to give him the ball 9 times. You run the ball with him on first down, he gets 5 yards. On second down, you're in shotgun, putting it all on Derek Carr. And these wide receivers that half the time they don't know when to keep running a route, where to line up. This game was a nightmare. It starts with Michael Thomas getting hurt on the second play of the damn game. Everyone thinking Thomas is going to be a big part of this game plan. I know they did. Well, he's out. Bringing in A.T. Perry, the rookie, who hasn't gotten any snaps hardly ever. But yeah, we tried. That's what we did. Later on, we lose 2 more starters. Everybody got hurt in this game. At one point, Shaheed was out, came back in. Malcolm Roach was hurt on the same play as Lattimore. but Lattimore never came back. Roach came back. Derek Carr gets hurt, gets a concussion, got the snot knocked out of him is what happened. The LSU boys came after him on that play. Hunter and Roy just pop. You can hit somebody in the shoulder and knock them out at the same time. Yeah, so this was a tough game. I got a lot to complain about. I'm a Saints fan, and I love this franchise. I want this team to win. They're my home team. But this particular team has issues, big time issues. And at this point, I'm determined that it's the decisions by the coaching staff. There's no reason why Taysom Hill couldn't be involved in this game. I don't care if you're losing 24-3 or not. If it's your best play and it's the spark that this team usually needs, if it's the way to get this offense moving, then you do it. You don't abandon it. I'm going to get into that at the end of the video. I'm going to go over these damn stats first. And I'm going to try not to curse in this video. It's going to be tough. Here's your offensive stats. Jameis Winston ends up 13 of 25 for 122 yards. 2 touchdowns, brilliant. 2 interceptions, not so brilliant. Winston was sacked once. Derek Carr did start the game. He was 13 of 18 for 110 yards. He was sacked twice and he fumbled. We recovered that fumble. So Derek Carr gets knocked down in the third quarter. He's out. Winston comes in. It's like 3 plays and a touchdown. Good stuff. 2-point conversion. That made the score 27-11. Then he manages to get out in another drive and score a touchdown. With 11 minutes to go, the score is 27-19. 11 minutes to go. Put a pin in that. So overall, I think, yeah, when someone can go out there and actually make a play, that makes a difference. That's what you need. Taysom Hill could have been the spark plug. Maybe if Thomas doesn't get hurt, he gets hot. Maybe if Juwan Johnson gets involved somehow. I'm starting to blame Johnson on this. I know the coaching staff's not wanting the quarterback to go to the tight end. I don't know. That it seems like the tight end's never the first read. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Derek Carr and Juwan Johnson was supposed to be the ish, okay, but no, it's not happening. Nothing on yards per completion. I mean, just embarrassing. And the offensive line took a step back, although they were run blocking pretty well. Last week they did a screen and Kendre Miller took that thing for 31 yards. The blocking was great. This week they couldn't find anybody to block on the screens. The offensive line they took a step back in this game. Running the ball, Alvin Kamara, 9 carries. Wow. 9 carries, 42 yards, an average of 4.7 a carry. He had a long of 9. He seemed to be getting a lot of big yards on first down, which is exactly what you want. I can understand when it's 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, you go ahead and take a shot. Maybe a play-action pass and then take a shot. And then on 3rd down, you can still go for it. You can bring in Taysom Hill and you can actually get it. You can bring in Taysom Hill on a 2nd and 2. Have him pass the ball. No creativity with this offense whatsoever. When you're running the ball, when Kamara's averaging 4.7 a carry and you only hand him the ball 9 times, I don't want to hear about how we fell behind. I don't want to hear that. We had plenty of opportunities when we weren't that far behind. Derek Carr scrambled 1 time for 10 yards. Jamal Williams got 4 carries for 7 yards, an average of 1.8 a carry. This is looking like a bust. And Taysom Hill, one damn carry for 6 yards, of course. It's not like it didn't work. We just didn't bother doing it. Overall, the Saints had 15 rushes for 65 yards. I'm telling you, in a game, you should expect to have 60 plays, sometimes 65 plays, 70 plays. We had a game this year with over 75 plays. You should at least have 60 plays. And if you're not running 30 times and passing 30 times, you're screwing up. You should be, and this team should be running the ball 35 times and passing the ball about 25 times. And Taysom Hill should be throwing 2 or 3 of those passes. I want Derek Carr to hover around 20 to 25 pass attempts. That's where he needs to be. He needs to be 19 of 25, and he needs to get the ball and going with the play action. And then you can do your little stupid dump offs, but you got to run the ball. I don't care how much you're losing by. If it's what's working, especially 2 days ago, that's what was working. It seemed like they didn't want to run block. And we just decided, no, let's put the ball in the hands of the $150 million quarterback because Dennis Allen has something to prove. You get the old team back together from the Raiders, and you suck. All right, receiving the ball. Chris Olave, I don't think he had a single catch in the first half. And Michael Thomas got hurt on the second play. When your options running around out there are A.T. Perry, Rashid Shaheed, and for some reason, Juwan Johnson that can't seem to get open, Chris Olave should have been targeted in the first half at least. He was targeted 9 times overall. He caught 6 balls for 94 yards and a touchdown. It was a great touchdown. If Jameis Winston's throwing the ball, you're going to have to make a great catch. That's the way I feel. Great catch, Olave. A.T. Perry had 2 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown. He was targeted 4 times, and I know he probably dropped 1. But look, he was probably having trouble getting open too. I mean, his first real action, like a lot of action, taking Michael Thomas's spot. Yeah, that's what you're here for. He did okay. Alvin Kamara had 7 catches on 7 targets for 33 yards. That was okay. Not great. But, Kamara could have had a bigger day. Instead of catching 7 balls, he should have been running the ball 15 times. That's where Kamara needs to be. He ran the ball 9 times. He needs to run the ball 15 times. I don't care if it's working or not. You have to have him run the ball 15 times. Now you start running him 20, 25 times, that's too much. That's where the 5 to 10 catches comes in. And he gets his 20 to 25 touches. So he does okay receiving. Rashid Shaheed, 5 catches on 9 targets for 24 yards. Okay, Shaheed's not operating in the middle of the field and on short routes the way that he showed he could last year. I know he's always a big play waiting to happen, but I don't like that, being targeted 9 times and only having 5 catches. It's way too inconsistent. Taysom Hill had 2 catches for 17 yards. Lynn Bowden Jr. had his first catch as a Saint, 1 catch, 12 yards. Michael Thomas was targeted twice. He got hit both times. He caught 1 for 9. The second one, he caught 1 for 9 yards and then had to leave because of a knee. I guess a helmet hit a knee. He stayed on the sideline for the rest of the game. He just never came back in the game. Made me think it wasn't that much of a serious injury, but we've been told by Dennis Allen it may be significant. So waiting on second opinions and x-rays and stuff like that. So Michael Thomas with a knee. And Juwan Johnson targeted 3 times. He had 1 catch for a grand total of 2 yards. Not brilliant. Overall, the offense struggled. 3 points in the first half with Derek Carr. Embarrassing. Nothing good about it. Okay, you're losing the ball. You're losing the game at one point 10-3. Yeah, no Taysom Hill. Then you're losing the game 17-3. But it's still a second quarter. No Taysom Hill. You refuse to run the ball twice in a row in either of those two drives that the Saints had the ball. And then Minnesota gets the ball in the second quarter for the third time and scores. Embarrassing. We went out there for a 2-minute drive and we went 3 and out. And they got the ball with like a minute and a half in the half to go. And of course, they drove down the field, 7 plays. They managed to run 7 plays, 70 yards in a minute and a half and score another touchdown. This defense could not stop them. And the defense, you're good for one half. It could be the first quarter, the fourth quarter, whatever. You're good. You're a good defense for 2 quarters. This offense is a good offense for 2 quarters. Pick and choose, because the other 2 quarters, they're going to be bad. Not just struggling, okay, bad. This defense allowed 21 points in 1 quarter, and we were talking about this defense holding teams to under 20 points a game. Well, yeah, you hold them to 3 points in the second half. You did that. You did that several games after you've allowed 17 points, 21 points, 24 points. Defense needs to get it together. Here's your defensive stats, and they look old and slow. It's like Father Time has caught up with this team. Demario Davis, linebacker, leads the team with 9 total tackles. He had a sack. Cornerback Paulson Adebo, 9 total tackles, 2 passes defensed. Tyrann Mathieu, 8 total tackles. Marcus May, 6 total tackles, a tackle for a loss. Pete Werner, 6 total tackles and a tackle for a loss. Alontae Taylor, 5 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 2 passes defensed. Not terrible, but he had some bad plays in this game. Malcolm Roach gets hurt and leaves and comes back and still finishes with 5 total tackles and a pass defensed. Marshawn Lattimore had 4 total tackles. Carl Granderson had 4 total tackles and a quarterback hit. This was probably Granderson's worst game since the Tampa Bay game. Nathan Shepard, 3 total tackles. Cam Jordan, 2 total tackles. Colin Saunders, 2 total tackles, a tackle for a loss, and a quarterback hit. Zach Bond, 2 total tackles. Okay. Here's your defensive stats. Your defensive stats is that second quarter where they allowed 21 points. And the offense couldn't get anything going. And, you get out there, you have a rough go at it in the first quarter. The game's tied 3-3. Okay, we're figuring each other out. Then Minnesota gets on the board. We go out there in the second quarter. On first down, we run to Kamara. We're down 10-3. We run the ball with Kamara on first down. It's a 5-yard gain. On second down, we attempt to pass. With that great offensive line who's run blocking pretty good, but pass blocking like garbage right now in this game. 2nd and 5, we go in shotgun and try to pass the ball with almighty Carr and that offensive line. He gets sacked. Okay, now it's 3rd and 11. And yeah, you're passing. And no one's getting open, so Carr takes off running. He gets 10 yards, but it's short, so we have to punt. Then we watch the defense go out there, and Minnesota drives the length of the field and scores another touchdown. Now it's 17-3. We get the ball back in the second quarter, and yeah, now we're starting to feel some pressure. But we run the ball on first down with Kamara, and it's a 3-yard gain. On 2nd and 7, Carr dumps it off to Kamara for a 1-yard gain. And then on 3rd down, 3rd and 6, Rashid Shaheed gets flagged for either the false start or the lining up a yard off the ball, or a yard ahead of the ball. I mean, whichever one it was, he got flagged twice. He gets a 5-yard penalty. Now it's 3rd and 11. And of course, it's incomplete. We punt the ball. Ridiculous. Kamara getting 5 yards on first down. Taysom Hill could have gone out there at that point. There's no creativity. It's almost as if we don't want Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill to succeed at quarterback. We don't want to do it. We don't like that. Got too much money invested in Dennis Allen's little pet. So, and yeah, right now we suck. We suck all around. Last week we were 7 of 14 on third downs. This week we were 4 of 14. It's a huge difference. Especially when you're passing the ball on third and short yardage situations, which happened in the first half. The Vikings were 6 of 15 on third downs. We were 2 of 2 on fourth downs. Yeah, it sucks when you need that. It seemed to me like our defense was running a lot of zone. I think that was to try to keep an eye on Dobbs. We always run more man than zone, but it felt like we were running more zone. That was on the plays when T.J. Hawkinson was wide open. On the plays when we were man covering him, he was just bigger than the guy covering him, and he beat everybody. I was concerned that we didn't have somebody to line up on him. I personally would have put Taylor on him the whole damn game. But Taylor got beat by him. I think Adebo got beat by him. The linebackers got beat by him. The safeties got beat by him. Everybody got beat by T.J. Hawkinson. We had 134 yards receiving, 11 catches, and a touchdown. That second quarter, when Minnesota scored 21 points, they had 200 yards of offense. Ridiculous. Yeah, almost 300 yards in the first half. They finished with 388 yards. We were the offense that was getting 400 yards or more for 3 games in a row, and then we allowed 388, and we mustered 280. In the red zone, we were 2 of 2. It seems like we've cured our red zone blues. As a matter of fact, we successfully got 2 two-point conversions, which is, a red zone play. So we seem to have cured our red zone deficiencies. Now we're good in the red zone. We just need to get in the red zone. We were good between the 20s, and of course, now we're not. This team is so inconsistent, and I think as fans, we know this. This is who they are. We allow the Vikings to be 2 of 3 in the red zone. So defense, once again, not getting it done. This defense seemed to get old, slow, and tired. And we're through the halfway point of the season now, so I don't know. Maybe some of them are ready for retirement. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu. Maybe it's time for you guys to retire. Rushing the ball, the Vikings carried the ball 33 times for 125 yards. That's an average of 3.8 a carry. We were doing okay against the run, and overall, Dobbs had 44 rushing yards, and I think that's fine. We can keep the running quarterbacks to under 50 yards compared to what we've been doing all year. That's not too bad. The problem is we were trying to keep him contained with our defensive line and try to encircle him and crush the pocket around him, but everybody was too afraid to approach him. The defensive tackles stayed like 2-3 yards away from him the whole damn game. And he had extra time to look over the field. He just had to wait until Hawkinson got open. When we were playing zone, he was wide open. Our zone looked like prevent defense. Awful. Just awful. So there is no quarterback controversy because Derek Carr makes $150 million a year. I wanted there to be a quarterback controversy when Winston came in the game and when he scored 2 touchdowns and we got 2 two-point conversions and the score is 27-19 with 11 minutes to go, I thought this is Winston's chance. And then we didn't help his ass out because the next time we had the ball, there was 8 minutes, 28 seconds to go. We're down by one possession, one score, and we went crazy. Okay. Alvin Kamara ended up with 15 touches. But in the fourth quarter, with 8.5 minutes to go, down by 8, we put Jamal Williams in the game. So is Jamal Williams the playmaker that's going to come back and win that game for you? You got to give him some carries every now and then, but I think at this point you should have Kamara in the game. We run the ball with Jamal Williams for a 3-yard carry. And then we go no huddle. Winston and the team runs up to the line. He dumps the ball off to Williams, and that's a 2-yard gain. And then no huddle, 3rd and 5. We might have huddled for the 3rd down. I think we went no huddle and then actually had to huddle for the 3rd down a couple of times because the 2nd down play sucked so bad. In this instance, in the fourth quarter, with 8.5 minutes to go on 3rd down, Winston threw the ball, dumped the ball off to Alvin Kamara for a -2 on 3rd and 5. Yeah, and then we had to punt. That was messed up. Williams gets a carry, then Williams is there, and then on 3rd down, you bring in Kamara and you throw the ball to him for nothing because you didn't design a play good enough to get him open. Maybe he was just a check down because, Winston was just in the game, and they probably told Winston, don't go for it all at once, but we're going to call 2 passing plays anyway. Winston is Winston. He's going to go for it. So that was a failure to me. With 8.5 minutes to go, Kamara and Taysom Hill should have been in a goddamn game. Pardon my French. We should have been running Taysom Hill in the first quarter, before we fell behind 27-3. Hill should have been involved. But with 8.5 minutes to go, and you're only down 8 points, yeah, it seemed to me like that was the time. When you give them something they hadn't seen all day. Run the ball, which they hadn't been able to stop all day. But instead, you put it all on Winston. He's had 2 touchdowns, so, The next time we got the ball in the fourth quarter, we went no huddle, 7 straight pass plays. We're still only down by 8 points. There was almost 5 minutes to go because the defense tightened up in the fourth quarter. The Vikings couldn't do anything. So the second time we got the ball in the fourth quarter, there's still 5 minutes to go. Down by a possession. But we went no huddle, 7 straight pass plays. And it was a 3rd and 3 when he threw that interception. One interception looked like a punt. One interception just looked like Jameis Winston, typical Jameis Winston. 3rd and 3, throwing a deep ball interception. We finally get the ball back, we get the ball back and try a Hail Mary, and it looked like every receiver was trying to jump up for the ball. Usually there's a couple of receivers, like Marquez Callaway, standing there waiting for the deflection, and of course the ball gets deflected, and the only person close enough to it was Shaheed, and I think he was actually trying to go for the ball when it was coming down to begin with. Yeah. We were hoping for a Minnesota miracle for the Saints at that point. The miracle would be for the Saints coaching staff to get their head out of their ass and actually start doing what this team needs to do. Whatever you're doing on defense just doesn't work. You're not fast enough to stop running quarterbacks, and half the league has running quarterbacks. Every quarterback is athletic except for Derek Carr and Jameis Winston. And so I think that's going to hurt this team. I thought you should have Alontae Taylor on Hawkinson the whole game and have somebody who's fast as a spy. I don't think Pete Werner is a good spy. I don't think Demario Davis is a good spy. Maybe in intelligence, yeah, but Werner's having a bad year. And, Davis, is not fast. He never really was. Maybe you bring Jordan Howden in the game as that dime safety and have him do some spying every now and then if that's what you're worried about. But then at the same time, you're telling the defensive line not to rush the passer. So if the defensive line is going to play that way, then maybe you should stay in coverage, okay, the whole time. Instead of let's do zone and tell the defensive line not to do anything. And nothing feels like it's working. And Dennis Allen's defense is full of slow old people. And right now we're suffering against the pass, which was our strength. Now we've got to deal with Derek Carr's hurt, Marshawn Lattimore's hurt, Michael Thomas is hurt. So Carr's going to go through concussion protocol. He's probably going to clear that by next week because, we have to sit with this loss for 2 weeks. And Carr will probably be back. And, yeah, even if he is hurt, the coaches are probably going to roll him out there on a stretcher anyway instead of play Winston because they just don't want to play Winston. And they don't want to play Taysom Hill either. This is the identity of our team. Taysom Hill has to get 10 snaps at quarterback, at least 10. He's got to run 7 times. He's got to throw a couple of times. I think you should get the run action going with him and Kamara. And Taysom should be quarterback in 12 plays a game. You have to do that or you're not trying to win. Alvin Kamara needs to run the ball 15 times. That has to happen. He has to catch at least 4 or 5 balls. That has to happen. Jamal Williams should get 5 carries. I would like Kendre Miller to get 5 carries when he's around. Maybe even 10. I would like this team to run the ball 35 to 40 times because that's the kind of team that we can be. And when you're passing the ball, you should have a lot of motion, a lot of play action. Derek Carr doesn't have a grasp on this offense and what his playmakers can do and what the offensive game plan is and what they need to go out there and do. He'd probably be better off with Gruden as his offensive coordinator because this is ugly. So we sit here at 5-5 now. We're going to wait 2 weeks. Then we're going to play the Falcons. They're on a bye week too. It's like the Alabama LSU thing, right? Everybody gets a bye week leading up to that big old head-to-head rivalry matchup. Okay, so while we have some downtime, I'm going to be working a lot because it's Thanksgiving and that's the way it goes for me. But I'm going to try to find the time to do a video later on this week or at the beginning of next week about the midway point of the season. I had some predictions of what I thought certain players would do, and so I'm going to pull some stats down. I'm going to do some math and try to figure out what they're looking like they're going to do for the year and compare that to the stuff I predicted, which is, I thought this team would go 10-7. So at this point, it looks like we're going to go 8-9, if I had to guess. But nothing's changed about the schedule. It's still favorable. And we keep getting backup quarterbacks and rookies and stuff like that. Doesn't seem to matter. We're still losing half these games because we only play good half the time, and half the time we play pretty bad. That's my video. Subscribe to my channel, Rosenfield 10. I will be doing another video next week or this week, and then stay subscribed because I will be previewing that Week 12 matchup against the Dirty Birds. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Who dat?